Okay, so lithium, right. Everyone's talking about lithium these days. But we're going deeper than just your phone battery this time.
Oh yeah, way deeper.
We're talking about a potential 14-fold increase in demand for lithium by 2040.
14-fold. That's almost unimaginable.
That's like, what, everyone on Earth suddenly wanting 15 phones?
Each. And that's just phones. Don't forget about the electric vehicle boom that's happening right now.
Right, EVs. So we know demand is about to go crazy, but how are we even going to get that much lithium? I always picture those massive evaporation ponds when I think about lithium mining.
Yeah, those huge open ponds, mostly in South America.
Yeah, exactly. The lithium triangle.
Yeah.
Just seems, I don't know, kind of slow and inefficient for how much lithium we're going to need.
Yeah, you're right, it is. Traditional lithium extraction, it basically involves pumping brine, and that's just super salty water into these huge ponds, and then they just kind of wait for the sun to do its thing.
Talk about slow food, huh?
Right. It could take months or even years to evaporate enough water to get to the lithium.
Okay, so slow, resource intensive. And what about the environmental impacts?
Yeah, not great. Not great at all, especially in those areas with really delicate ecosystems.
So this is where I've been hearing a lot about direct lithium extraction, or DLE. Is this the lithium miracle we've been waiting for?
Well, a lot of people are hoping so.
So how does it even work? Break it down for us.
Okay, picture this. You've got your brine, right? The super salty water. Now imagine a giant high-tech filter for that brine. Instead of waiting around for evaporation, DLE pulls the lithium directly from the water.
Wait, really? No more giant ponds?
No more giant ponds. And get this, we're talking about a process that takes hours or days, not months or years.
Wow, that's a serious time difference. But what about all the water they use?
Okay, so that's another amazing thing about DLE, the water efficiency. Some DLE methods have up to 98% water recycling rates.
98%? That's incredible, especially compared to those evaporation ponds.
It's a massive difference.
Okay, so let's do a quick comparison here. Evaporation ponds versus this DLE tech. Speed, DLE wins, obviously. Efficiency.
But we know evaporation ponds only recover about 50% of the available lithium. DLE can get up to 90%.
Wow, so DLE is faster and way more efficient. What's the catch?
Well, it's not all sunshine and roses, right? There are still some kinks to work out. But one of the biggest advantages of DLE is that it opens up the possibility of using lower-grade brine sources that were previously uneconomical with the traditional methods.
So places that weren't even on the lithium map before could suddenly become major players.
Exactly. We could be talking about a potential 66% increase in the global lithium supply.
Okay, now that is huge.
Right. Lithium scarcity suddenly doesn't seem so scary anymore, does it?
Suddenly EVs for everyone doesn't seem so impossible. But if these other places start producing lithium, what happens to the current major players? Like, is the lithium triangle going to dry up?
Yeah.
The lithium triangle drying up? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a big deal, right? If we're not relying on them anymore for lithium, what happens?
Yeah, it's a huge deal. You've hit on, like, the biggest question about this whole DLE thing, the geopolitical side of it. It's fascinating.
Because right now, it's like South America basically controls the lithium market.
They're the kings of lithium.
But with DLE, suddenly other places can get in on the action.
Exactly. I mean, we could be talking about parts of North America or Europe.
Even Southeast Asia, right? I was reading about some of their brine resources.
And those were basically considered unusable before. Too low grade, too hard to reach. But with DLE, they could be major players.
But instead of a lithium triangle, it's like the whole world is a potential lithium mine.
Pretty much.
Wow. That's, I mean, talk about a power shift. Who controls those resources? What happens to trade routes?
And global relationships. Think about it. Right now, there's this whole ethical question around lithium mining.
Oh, right. Because even if it's for something like electric vehicles,
which is supposed to be green.
Right, green.
Yeah.
Even then, the mining itself can be really damaging.
Environmentally. And then there's the potential for exploitation, especially in countries with less strict regulations.
So DLE, that could change all that too.
It could. If it's done right, you've got a cleaner, more ethical way to get lithium that's good for the planet, good for the workers. Everybody wins.
Okay, so there are a lot of potential upsides here. But we have to do it right? Like, we can't just rush into this whole DLE thing without thinking about the consequences.
Exactly. If we're serious about electric vehicles.
About renewable energy in general.
Yeah, all of it. We can't just trade one set of problems for another.
So sustainability is key. from how we get the lithium to, like, eventually recycling it.
Exactly. It's about the whole picture, the whole life cycle.
Okay, so it feels like we're at this crucial point, like we're about to take this huge technological leap, and we have to make sure we stick the landing. What should people be paying attention to as this all unfolds?
Stay curious. That's the biggest thing. This whole lithium extraction world is changing so fast.
It's a lot to wrap your head around. You think you're just diving into lithium, and suddenly you're like an expert in geopolitics.
See? That's what I love about these deep dives. You just never know where they'll go. But hey, speaking of going places, all this talk about new technology, innovation, these startups, that's got to be exciting for you, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, who wouldn't want to be on the cutting edge of something like this?
Exactly. It's huge. And who knows, maybe there's some future scientists and engineers listening right now who are going to be inspired to create even more sustainable and efficient ways to get lithium.
Now, that would be amazing. Imagine the impact. So, as we wrap up here, what's like the one big takeaway you want to leave our listeners with from everything we've talked about today about lithium?
Stay curious. That's it. Stay curious, stay engaged. What's happening with lithium is about so much more than just lithium. It's about technology. It's about the future of the planet.
It's about all of us.
Exactly. And the more we know about it, the better choices we can make. Choices that benefit everybody.
Couldn't have said it better myself. A huge thanks to you, as always, for taking us on this deep dive into the world of lithium extraction.
Happy to do it. It's always fun geeking out with you about this stuff.
And to all our listeners, thanks for diving in with us. Keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive.